Well, hey everyone, welcome to Social Media and AI Shortcuts. I'm Madeline Sklar. As always, we have lots to talk about today. Like a reminder that social media is on rented land. We need to remember that. I'm going to do a deep dive into my favorite tool called Wispr Flow. Y'all have heard me talk about that one. And we're going to discuss other newsworthy items. And if you're new here, hi. I'm Madeline Sklar. I help content creators, marketers, and entrepreneurs get more done in less time when it comes to their social media and AI. My goal is to make it easier so you're not so overloaded, because we all get so incredibly overloaded with it. Anyway, I'm so glad you all are here with me today. I am going to bring up our panelists that are joining us today. Hello, friends. Always good to see y'all here each week with me. How are y'all
Howdy.
doing?
I'm excited.
I tell you, there's always stuff for us to talk about. There's never a shortage of things. And especially like with AI stuff, the AI world, always a lot's going on. But yeah, first, before we even get into all this stuff, I will, as usual, remind everybody, come join us on the SKOOL platform. Let me show you. It's like a Facebook group, but way better. And we are going to talk about SKOOL a bit because, well, the first thing I'm going to go into that we're going to discuss today is remembering that social media is rented land. I think too many times we forget that these platforms, we're just giving all this content to it. And that's not a bad thing necessarily, but we don't have control over a lot of it. And we can get censored. We can get our accounts deleted. I'm going to play a short video in just a bit of this attorney who helps creators and talking about how she's always getting these phone calls from clients that are like, making millions of dollars being a YouTuber, and they lose their account because you can't control that. And I think that's just a reminder why we need things like SKOOL. SKOOL is an incredible platform where we have the control. We can control things. And that's why we have this for y'all to join. It's free, skool.com/Madeline Sklar. Definitely encourage you all to sign up. We're going to talk a little bit about why it's important to have your own place. Not taking away social media. We need social media. That's how we find people. That's how we cast the white net to bring people over. But we need to have a home. It used to always be our website, our .com. But a website is static. It is you putting out your message to everyone. But what about when people that are like-minded that are around you, what about ways to stay connected with them, but they can get to know each other? And that's where I think something like this is so incredibly valuable. And I think there's just so much we can do with our own platform that we control. And, we've talked about how Substack has been great for this as well. Hey, Mimi, good to see you here. I see Jason from Bunsen, Beaker, and Bernoulli here. Good to see y'all. I guess that means school's out in Canada today. Would that be right? Because that's the only time we see Jason during this chat. Anytime that's our Thursday afternoon, 1 o'clock Eastern chat. Anyway, what do y'all think about this whole rented land? I think we're just so used to being on social media platforms social media platforms been around for 20 years now. I remember MySpace, probably even before that, because MySpace, I remember getting on that in 2005. And I was already on Friendster. Friendster was around before that. And that was like one of the first social media platforms. I think we're just so used to having a place that's free and we can just talk to people and connect. What do y'all think?
You're taking me way back machine and Friendsters. Oh my goodness.
Friendster. I met the guy that started Friendster. I actually interviewed him for my old Twitter Smarter podcast a long time ago. Great guy. They pretty much consider him like the person that started social media platform.
What happened to them?
I don't even remember, but years ago he had Jason, I'm so sorry to hear y'all are on strike. I did not know that. I'm so sorry. He had another platform he had built that everybody kept saying Twitter should have bought. I mean, it was a long time ago. This would have been probably about 10 years ago, because it was back when I first started my podcast, my Twitter Smarter podcast. But he had built this amazing tool that you could use for research and just searching content, and it used multiple platforms. So it was primarily for Twitter, and it would let you know if, like, let's say, we're all connected on Twitter or X, and let's say y'all were all sharing like this piece of content, like some great article or something. It would let me know how many of my people that I follow, were sharing that on their social media. So it's hard to describe, and it was a long time ago, but everybody thought for sure Twitter would buy it because they didn't have a way to do the way this could do the searching. It was very unique. But honestly, it was so long ago, I don't remember why he said whatever happened to Friendster. But he was like really well known in Silicon Valley as being like, the fire starter back then.
He got started like in 2002, I think it was.
Yeah.
Long time ago.
Long time. Absolutely.
23 years. Wow.
Yeah. Jason, let me know if you'd like to come on screen and chat with us today, because I'd be happy to send you the StreamYard link, because, we go way back. He's been part of our old Twitter Smarter community a long time. But anyway, join our SKOOL community. It's free. It's a great place where we're able to stay connected beyond this 1 hour weekly chat that we do right here. So yeah, but
can I ask you something?
Absolutely.
On that, because you see it on the screen there. And I'm sorry.
Okay, I got it. Let's back up. Let's back up.
See that? It shows that you're live in SKOOL. And if you've been following our weekly episodes, SKOOL has offered direct live now on that platform. But that isn't being fed into the SKOOL platform, correct? It's got that live button there just because it's on the calendar.
It's showing the live because right now in the calendar, we are, what it does is it lets you know what's next on the calendar. And so when you come over to the calendar, I just have this live stream each week. And so if I go back over here and I click on this, like earlier it said, like, letting you know that social media and AI shortcut starts in an hour, and then just kind of counts down. So yeah, when you click on that, it shows you, this is what we're doing today. It's in the calendar, and I have the direct link to the YouTube for this.
Yeah, but it's live over there on YouTube, and of course
and all the other
we're streaming to. But that's interesting that it's like a pulsating live in our SKOOL communities. I just noticed that.
That's what it does when you have something that is in your calendar and is live, like, because you tell it how long a thing is in the calendar, then yeah, it does this little pulsating red there, which is really cool because it grabs your attention. So if you're going onto somebody's SKOOL page, you really can't miss that. It definitely stands out. We got Mammy Mimi saying, isn't SKOOL also a centralized platform of rented space? But the thing is you're paying for it. When we're on the social media platforms, it's free, and they make the rules that we have to follow. But what's great about SKOOL is that I pay for it, and I can turn around and either make my community free, or I could charge a monthly subscription or even an annual. But I have the control. So I can't, when I go and post like TikTok, I've told you before, TikTok is hating me for my other stuff that's separate from the Madeline Scholar with my Kratom stuff. And they're so strict with me now, and they keep threatening to delete my account, but they control it. They make all the rules. I can't control that. But what I can control is I also have a SKOOL community for that stuff. And I can post whatever I want because I control it. And I pay for it, and I get to decide what gets to be on there and what doesn't. So I really look at it as a place that I don't have to worry about a thing with the whole rented land that always comes into the conversation so much, because it's very worrisome. Now, if the things you're putting up online are not topics that are ever of concern, then I think most people just don't even give it another thought. Like with all the things I've been doing over the years, social media and now AI, I've never really had to worry about any censorship or any problems. But the platforms can still do whatever they want. I mean, what about a while back, we talked about how all those AI Facebook groups got shut down all of a sudden. Some of them were huge with like 100,000 subscribers to or followers on it. And it turned out it was some glitch with Meta, but it wasn't an immediate put back, and it really freaked out all those content creators, all those owners of those platforms. Like, we need to think about having a place where that could never happen, whether it's intentional or not intentional.
If I could just add, I've had a couple Facebook pages, they took away my admin access, and these are my clients. Isn't that just insane? I didn't do anything wrong. I got no warning. And then like the pages are still there, but I don't have access to them. It's the weirdest thing. So I've just had to recreate some pages that I've had for many years for like promotional stuff for authors. And now it's gone. That's part of why I moved over to Substack as well. But you never know. Substack says that it won't be, telling people there's no censorship. If you want to talk about Nazis, you can talk about Nazis, etc. I don't see a lot of that on there, but you never know. So it's worth having your own site and your own
that you control, that
copy
you control
everything. Yeah, that's what I tell people.
Yeah,
so like I like SKOOL. I paid for the $9 a month, and I want to start a book marketing chat SKOOL, but I just haven't had the time. So I like being able to take them over to somewhere that I pay for. But even then, what if it disappeared tomorrow?
Right. Which
That
can happen.
Anything that
it can happen.
It can absolutely happen.
Or they just block access. I've had a couple of friends who've lost their X accounts, or even their Facebook personal accounts, just gone.
It can happen, and it's regardless if you're paying for it. Mimi had done this comment a few minutes ago. So X is the same if you pay to be verified. No. They all have community guidelines, but SKOOL does too. Here's the thing. All of these places have community guidelines. The thing is, the ones that you pay, and I don't mean X. X is different. You're paying X so that you can have more features that used to be free. And Elon decided, actually there was, before Elon, Twitter did have the premium. It was, the blue check, and you did get a few features, and it was nice. I had it, and I paid, it was $2.99. It wasn't $8. It was way more reasonably priced. And a lot of people did it because, oh my gosh, you got all these really cool features that they didn't have before, that weren't even available. And then Elon upped the price and then added more features, but he also changed what used to be free. Used to be, you did a tweet and people saw it, and then the algorithm kept changing. And then it's like, well, if you pay on X for a premium account, the more you pay of the 3 tiers, the more they let people see your content. You're just paying for views, and you're paying for some extra features. But no, they could still, if you're not following their community guidelines. Plus, has anybody ever looked at community guidelines? They so can be misinterpreted. They're so vague, and they do it on purpose. And TikTok just redid theirs. Still super vague. And they do whatever they want. They pull stuff down. They don't care. I've been having a lot of problems with them, and it just a main reason why I started SKOOL for that other community. It's a different community than this. I don't think I have to worry about this, but why not still have a place? That's why I have SKOOL for Us. Why not have a place where I will never have to worry? Meta could still come in, or X, and completely change the game and say they don't like how we do, or we don't like a tweet you did 5 years ago, and throw politics in. They could just make up some stupid rule and say, no, we're going to delete your account. We don't care if this is how you do your business. So,
just out of curiosity, have you ever looked at SKOOL's policies? Do you keep on top of them as well?
Jason, on the SKOOL. Hi, Jason. I'm so glad you joined us.
Oh, hello. How's it going?
Good. I didn't send you the link though. You said in the comments that you know.
Rachel sent it to me, and
Thank
then
you, Rachel.
I
Oh my
did
gosh, Rachel. Thank
I
you.
did my hair so I didn't look so gross.
Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're going to be part of the conversation because you always have so much to add to the conversation. But Mimi is saying that that she means centralized means the platform controls it. Decentralized means they do not. I mean, I don't think of school. I mean, school does have community guidelines. Like there are rules to using it, but it's not super strict and tight like you get on the other platforms. Because, and I think it's because you're paying to use it. I mean, when I was already on School for quite a while with other people's communities, but when I started my first one, before I started this one for social media and AI shortcuts, I set up one for my Kratom community. And the only reason why there's just so many issues with that, for those that don't know, it's a botanical, it's a plant, and it is currently federally legal, but some states decided to ban it because of misinformation and propaganda, which is ridiculous because it's not like cannabis. You don't get high from it, but it helps millions of people around the world. And it becomes a gray area. And a lot of these platforms, they don't want you talking about it, just like they don't let you talk about typically cannabis, drugs. They have their variety of things, like you cannot talk about these things, or borderline things. And with mine, it's like a borderline thing. And it gets really frustrating. And it's like, I mean, seriously, with my TikTok for that community, I've had an account ban warning, big red letters on my profile. Only I see because it's my account. Every time I log in, they want to make sure I don't forget, because they've told me one more thing they don't like, they are deleting the account. I have 7,000 followers. They don't care. I provide informational content. They don't care. And
you should take them on Substack and get their emails.
yeah, I'm gonna. It's just been on my to-do list for a long time.
What if you don't call it Kratom? You just call it like Kratom.
Well, so
like change it.
I'm the kind of person that's like, I shouldn't have to do that, because actually, what I did for a while with TikTok is I went and got a domain name because I have kratomstoriespodcast.com, but they don't even like you to spell the word kratom. Like TikTok goes that far.
Mm-hmm.
And I went and got a domain name, tealeafpodcast.com. But I was like pissed. I'm like, I shouldn't have to do that. I shouldn't have. And then people are like, you should change the name of the podcast. Or like, I'm like, no, it's a podcast where people share their kratom stories. I want to be able to call it that. And it's just a plant, so I'm trying to stick to my morals here. It's frustrating, but I go through this with these platforms. And YouTube, for the first time, I have so much content for that community on YouTube. And for the first time, about a month ago, they didn't like one of my posts, and they claimed that I was trying to sell kratom. Well, I don't sell kratom. And they took it down, and I'm still in trouble. I'm on probation until November. This happened a couple months ago. I'm still on probation. They made me do like this little class, almost like a little on my phone. They told me took it down. I'm in all this trouble. I'm reading all this stuff. It's basically threatening me if I do an appeal. The way it was worded was so bizarre, and it's like, I'm like, oh my God, what do I? And then it says, you got to do this now. And it gave me, it goes through a list of scenarios one at a time. Well, if Joe sells this and talks about this and does a video on this, is this allowed? I mean, it's like, I was like, what is happening here? And it made me go through these scenarios. I had to skip my answer. I'm like, it's testing me to make sure I know what the guidelines are. And then it said, okay, well, you're on probation. And it was just.
Did you appeal?
No, because the way they worded it was kind of scary. Like, I don't remember the exact wording, but basically if I appealed, they could terminate the account. And that's just messed up. That's messed up to make a threat like that.
Yeah, I think why they don't want you to appeal, because if you ever did take it to court, that you have documentation. See,
but it's not even worth doing that. It's not even. But you know what? That's why this thing. I'm gonna read this really amazing post about content on rented land and play a little snippet of this lady's video. She's an attorney for content creators. And it's super interesting because it's scary how much control these platforms have. So let me first start, because I'm sitting here talking about all this, but it's like I probably should start with because I want to read this. I know this is kind of small on the screen, but I'm going to read this to y'all because it's interesting. And this I had come across. I followed this lady. Her name is Tyler Chow, and so she is she calls herself Law for Creators, and she just started a whole community for this as well. But here's what she says. You don't own your audience. You rent them from YouTube, from Instagram, from TikTok. And one day your landlord might evict you. That channel you spent years building, that audience you talk to every day, gone. Because the algorithm changed, because you got hacked, because your content violated community guidelines, or because of the feared copyright strikes. And just like that, your life work disappears. I've seen it happen to creators with millions of followers overnight. I can't even imagine. That's got to be just crazy. No way to reach their audience, no backup, no email list, no land of their own. And see, SKOOL, you get the emails. I love that. Here's my gentle truth as the creator's attorney. If you're building your empire on rented land, you're not building an empire, you're building a sandcastle. Fragile. You need your own foundation, your own email list, your own community. And then, she's using this to also start her own private community, which I think is a great idea, because she's saying no algorithm, no middleman, just creators that are able to connect. And this is just so great, all the stuff she says in this post. And I think it's just that reminder that we need to hear from time to time that we could be doing just fine on these social media platforms, and then all of a sudden it gets taken away. And I'm just going to play a little snippet of her. She has a 9-minute video on this. I'm just going to play a snippet of it, just the beginning where she kind of talks about it. It just kind of sets up like this thing that we need to hear and remind ourselves of.
Imagine this. You wake up, check your email, and your YouTube channel is gone. Years of uploads deleted, AdSense shut off, brand deals canceled. I've had creators sobbing on a Zoom because everything they built vanished overnight. And here's the truth. This isn't rare. Every single week, 3 to 5 creators land in my inbox with strikes, takedowns, or demonetizations, or complete deletion of their channel. And some of these are 7-figure businesses. And the worst part, fair use will not save you. YouTube strikes first and asks question later. Your defense only matters if you can afford a lawsuit. And that's why today I'm breaking down the real risks and, most importantly, the concrete protections every creator can put into place today.
All right, so I'm going to stop there because it's a long video, and then she starts talking about her new community that she's starting for this, and but I will have a link to this both in our SKOOL and for the YouTube version of this live stream. I'll have it in the description later. But it's that scary reminder, and yeah, it's easy to say, well, let me just sue them. You think we could sue YouTube and think we're gonna win? I don't know. I don't know. They can do whatever they want.
It's been an age-old topic since way back in the early 90s, quite frankly, about the rented land thing.
Yeah.
And when we got the .coms, and we had, or just the app, because not everybody could actually register a .com. They couldn't, a .org, and you had to go through qualifications back when I actually got mine. And the whole thing is that even that, okay, now I've got that domain name, it's dedicated to me. In order for everybody around the world to see it, it has to be hosted somewhere. And then depending on how everything is set up, it's as to whether that traffic is going to get to you, period. So the number one thing for all of us to remember, I've been building online community for 35 years, and it's, you got to have the email list. You got to have the email contact to keep in touch with your people. And the next safest thing is to have one registered domain. You can actually use it as a referrer to wherever you're building community at the time. But I back in those days, I was really, because I worked, with the folks who made the laws. Talk about attorneys in the world I was in. I love her. I just, I love how straightforward. I'm so glad you're including the link to her video in our school community. I hope we continue the conversation on her video there, because it's
Yeah.
really, really important. And but
Mhm.
you can lose sleep after you spend a fortune and time to build online community. You can lose a lot of sleep over that, not to mention money. And so the whole thing is you've got to be comfortable with what you're doing, and at a minimum, and oddly enough, I don't know if you're going to go over our school news for this last week, but they did talk about this again. They want you to, have your domain, but refer it directly to your community. So you don't need a website, they're telling you. You have that there, but you have the domain directed to that community. I think that SKOOL is I believe it to me falls into the Renderland category. What she said in her YouTube video is the Bible for online community building and keeping it legal these days, in my opinion. So it's exciting again. I'm over 70, still in the game, still building and maintaining community, but it's like we're back in the pioneering days again because of AI. And that's one of the reasons why I was attracted to the community that you are building on SKOOL. So I don't know, Madeline, we're in for another adventure.
Can I say something real quick?
Absolutely.
She's amazing, by the way. You gotta consume her YouTube videos there. I'm sort of like one of those people that early in my career, I had a boss that was teaching me how to look at contracts. So I got nerded out on that. So I look at stuff differently from a risk management standpoint. But I just want to encourage even the small creators, don't be afraid of Goliath, because sometimes David does win. And I've seen a small entrepreneur take on a big telecom company and win an antitrust lawsuit against them.
Really?
And oh yeah, because they fought for what was right. So they want you to think that it all is lost. But
Sure.
you don't know who else is going to resonate with you fighting the fight. And the people will join you, people will fund you, people will sometimes represent you for free because they believe in your cause, and it also gives them publicity. So if you really believe in something, don't be afraid to be David and stand up to Goliath, because Davids do win, but they want you to think you have no chance. And that's where they win, when they get you to think that you
Yeah.
have no chance.
Yeah. Well said. But the thing is with just talking about these social media platforms, SKOOL, these other places, the social media, you don't ever get anybody's email address. Substack, you get email addresses. SKOOL, you get email addresses. There are places, and I think that's so important now. Jason, your community is so huge, and you're on multiple social media platforms, but you don't get their email addresses. What's your thought on all this?
I resonate with some of it, but then I also see maybe another point. Our meta audience has exploded this last year. So we're at 250,000 on both Facebook and Instagram now, which has just been
Congrats.
Yeah. Now that's free advertising. So I understand that I'm renting I'm renting the property for our dog content and our science content, but the amount of eyeballs that we get on our stuff is sometimes would take your breath away. I just had a video the other day that got millions of views, and it's just I can't believe this is a thing. And we do have a community, and the issue with the community is it just shrinks everything down, and it's harder to get people to join that. So it's a catch-22. You don't get their emails. They can all go away. The algorithm or owners can switch, as what happened to us on Twitter/X. like we had our account is still large here, but it's nowhere near as powerful as it is on Meta now. And it's fickle, right? So that's the thing, is that we're doing great now on Meta, but things could change, and that could cook us there. So yeah, that's our biggest struggle, is trying to get our audience to move from something like Instagram or Facebook, which is free, or they can subscribe to us for $1, which is nothing, to something that they would have to pay a little bit more money, like a Patreon, which is sort of what we have set up with Circle. Yeah. So
how's that going? How's that going?
It's good, but it's like our super fans. It's only the super fans.
And that's how it's going to be. Yeah.
Yeah. One advantage, as you've mentioned with SKOOL, Circle allows you to host courses. So we've been building a dog training course with a dog trainer for about 2 months now, and it's coming together, and we're just so excited for that, because that's something that you could never do on social media, like a course, right? And then have more detailed conversations that way. Yeah.
And Jason mentions the super fans. They're already bought into you, right? So whatever he puts out there, they're like, where has it been?
Yeah.
And it's a whole different world. But kudos to you, Jason. I'm on that journey, so I'll be looking at your stuff.
Well, SKOOL's getting ready to add subscription tiers, and I've just been waiting for that, because I like having this community and my separate Kratom one as free communities. And I'm not knocking social media. I'm never going to. Social media is great for casting the wide net, like Jason said, getting those eyeballs. That will not change. But for those that want more, the ability to get their email addresses, the ability to let them connect with others in your community, because it's all like-minded people coming together. Like this chat, this Thursday afternoon chat, even though now it's social media and AI shortcuts with me, it started off as a Twitter chat in 2015, 10 years ago, on X, on Twitter Smarter, Twitter chat. And that's, where I met a lot of people in our community here, was from that Twitter chat. And then Twitter evolves, it changes, but we all everybody in our little bubble here got to know each other through a Twitter chat, which was not like a live stream like this. I mean, not like Spaces with the audio. It was I come to realize a lot of people that come to these live streams and stuff have no idea what a real Twitter chat is. So for those that don't know, old school, I just call them now old school Twitter chats, because when we started doing Spaces, it became this divide at one point where, after a few years of audio Spaces and X, when you would talk about Twitter chats, there was all these people that they weren't on X back then or on Twitter. And so they only know Spaces and they know live streaming. And they're like, what are y'all talking about? And it's like, oh, we used to do a thing called a Twitter chat where you're just on Twitter typing away, putting a hashtag in, and the only way everybody sees it for that hour is we have to do the hashtag. And when somebody's new and they would show up during the chat, this will happen every time. Somebody come in at the beginning and they had the hashtag and, hey, everybody, I'm new here. Pound Twitter Smarter. And then the whole hour goes by. You don't hear from them anymore. And the end of the hour, OMG, I forgot to put the hashtag in this whole time. Pound Twitter Smarter. I'm like, I always tell people, for 1 hour, we're hyper-focused on tweets with the hashtag. If you just are searching the hashtag and just looking at that, that's the discussion. And it was an amazing way to connect with people. But we also need a way to take that amazing energy from that group and have conversations go beyond that. And that's what I love about SKOOL, Circle, all these other platforms, these membership platforms. It's not new, but I think it's newer to people now, because a lot of people just didn't know you could do things like this. They just stick with social media.
One of the things too is you evolved, Madeline, and
I did.
I've been around. I'm
the queen of pivot.
Yeah, so that's where a lot of creators' success came from, is the ability to not give up when the algorithm changed, not give up when something that was popular no longer is.
Absolutely.
I was quite stubborn initially with not doing like reels. I think I mentioned this before. I was a year or two behind, and I'm just kicking myself today. I wish I got on that years earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's all good. I mean,
yeah, if you pivot, you win. If you pivot, you keep people engaged.
I always just pivot just based on what's going on. And, it was Twitter smarter forever, of course. But then over time, as things evolved with X and all the changes that were happening, it felt weird to keep the Twitter smarter chat. Well, of course, I changed it from the old school chat to Spaces. And I was one of those early beta hosts for Spaces. I'm like, I'm so glad they did that. And it just made the whole dynamics of that 1 hour chat even better, because we're hearing each other's voices, and now you can like put a voice to the name rather than just a tweet, just looking at your screen and a tweet that we type. We're all typing like a crazy person for an hour. Now we just talk, and it just, to me, changed the landscape. But I love live streaming, and I've been doing live streaming a long time, and it's like, we need to be able to do this as a live stream. That'd be even better. And once X added live streaming, it's like, okay, we got to figure out like, what can we do to expand? Because there's just something special about video, I think, when it comes. And y'all are doing a lot of that, Jason. I mean, I love when sometimes I'll be on X and all of a sudden there's just this video of you with the dogs out in the snow, and it's so cool. And then you'll have like regular chats with your community.
Yeah, like I said, it was a learning curve figuring out short form video. And I have so much respect for some of the, like, cause we're dog centric, right? There are some really massive dog accounts with millions of followers. And I have so much respect for the talent they have, because that's what it is. To tell a little story that is hilarious with dogs is not, if it was easy, everybody would do it. So it took some learning there to figure it out. And we found our rhythm with the reels. And then, so now we do our pet chat every Saturday is like this, right? We have a StreamYard account. It goes to our YouTube, our Facebook. I've hooked it into our Instagram, which is kind of clunky. And then I've got like my Roadcaster teched up to have Spaces at the same time that it's on live. So
you have blown me away with that. I used to bug you all the time in the DMs. How are you doing that? Because it was so cool to be able to like do both.
You need an extra phone, and then you have a little jack.
Yeah.
And then but that allows like us to be everywhere where our community is, which not everybody needs to do that, but that's what we have to do.
Right. Well, you're doing one of the things that I'm a big fan of. Be in as many places as you can, because you're going to have people, especially when you've done the audio spaces for a long time, like you have, like I have, and Rachel did as well. You're going to have people, like when I switched this to the live stream, I'm like, because I didn't have the hardware to do both. And I was like, okay, but I really want to turn this into a live stream. And I'm like, hopefully our Spaces people will just see as a video instead and come watch on that. And it was actually a really easier transition. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, because I really thought people were not going to be interested in wanting to watch the video version. But with this video version, I can do so much more in this hour. I can show my screen, and we can play some videos and stuff you couldn't really do as well with an audio only chat. But I just want to have as many options for people. Like right now, we're live streaming to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my YouTube, and X. And then I know Rachel and Barb have this going out to some of theirs as well, which is awesome. So right now, we're just in a lot of places on social to just get this content out as far and wide as possible. And I think it's great that you do that, Jason.
And we've heard from our fans that YouTube is their favorite place to watch.
Interesting.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I like YouTube, and I try to get people like doing this, coming to our YouTube for this content, because YouTube, I think, is the best when it comes to the ease of being able to go find replays or doing searches and finding older content like this. Just Spaces, it always frustrated me that Spaces never had a way to easily go back for replays. You had to just go find it in the feed.
Yeah.
And that never made sense to me.
Yeah. Twitter's like,
right.
And it's gone.
Right. So if you're like power users, like, you have a lot of content on yours, even if it was a Spaces chat from a few days ago, like someone have to really like go through that feed to find it.
If you forget the favorite, it's gone forever. You might as well just just give up. it's done.
Exactly. But
Like one of
I
those, you know, those Japanese paintings, and then you just wipe it clean, right?
yeah,
It's
exactly.
beautiful for a time, but now it's gone.
Exactly. So
Madeline,
yes, yes.
I just looked at the clock. We're at 11:44.
I know.
Here.
Well,
And
I
what
love
was it?
talking
Was
to
it Wispr that was the other?
Wispr Flow. I know it's like, should we
Wispr
save
Flow?
it for next week? But I really wanted to show you all this because I just love talking about community, because y'all know I can talk about this all day.
Exactly.
But thank you for doing that, Barb. Yeah, I wanted to. I've done this here a few times before. I talked about Wispr Flow, which is like one of my favorite tools. I use it constantly. And I need to make a how-to video. I just haven't had time. But I found one that's so good. And I thought, because when I've talked about it with y'all and kind of showed y'all their site, I don't feel like it really says enough to like for y'all to understand why this has been so valuable for me. And so yeah, let's go ahead and change over to that. What I'll do first is I'm going to show y'all the website and explain what this tool is. And then I found just a really great how-to video that just explains what it is and how to use it. So some of you may remember about 2 years ago, I was having serious issues with both my wrists, especially my right wrist, which made it really, I'm a computer person, hard to do computer stuff, hard to type, hard to do the work I was doing. And I tried every voice to text app. None of them worked well for me. I just didn't. Like, I was to the point where I'd rather just suffer and have to take a lot of breaks and be less productive, because there was nothing out there that just worked properly for me. And it's like, I want to be able, it would be nice if I could just talk and it puts it together properly and it looks good. And it's it puts out the information I'm trying to say and save my wrists. Well, my wrists have improved, but I'm back to having some flare-ups again, because it's the time of year. Weather changing will affect me. So I'm back to my wrist bothering me, not the level it was where I was almost incapacitated. But several months ago, I discovered this site called Wispr Flow. And the tool is really interesting, where you talk into it and it does the voice to text, but in a much better way and done where it makes sense, and it utilizes AI, but not in a way of using AI like for searches and stuff. Is more of utilizing AI to help format it so it looks right on the screen. And if you stumble, it'll fix it. So if I did like a pause and go, I mean this, 2:00 p.m. for, let's say I'm texting somebody, hey, I'll meet you at 2:00. No, I'm sorry, 3:00. It fixes that. It uses AI to fix that. It's so cool. But what I love about it is just so much faster than typing. And I use it on my computer. I use it on my iPhone. I just can use it everywhere. And I love this auto edits. So when you just talk naturally and it transcribes it and edits it. And it's not 100% perfect, but it is to me, it's like 90% perfect. I'm just so impressed. Anyway, when I go into mine, it tells me I've now been using it for 14 weeks. I've done 76,000 words with it. And my speaking is at 144 words per minute, which is just mind-blowing, because your words per minute when you're typing are not going to be at 144. And it kind of shows you this here, the whole typing versus talking, and how just you can talk so much faster than what you can type. I'm a fast typist, but I just wanted to show you all this because I think it's such an interesting tool. It has saved me so much time just in productivity. Separate from the whole, it helps me because of my wrist problems. It's great because it just makes me more productive because it does everything faster. I can talk faster than I can type. So this how-to video really explains it. Are y'all interested? Y'all want to watch some of this so you get an idea of what this is about? Yeah. All right. Let me play this because he can explain it better than me.
Discovered an AI-powered voice typing app that has tripled my productivity. Watch how I write this email. Hi, Christina. The quarterly earnings report is attached. There are 3 things that I want to bring to your attention. First, the revenue for the West region was up 10%, and the revenue for the East region was down 8%. Second, booked calls were up 12% overall. And third, the Q2 website traffic was up 7% overall. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, and have a great weekend. Now, the first thing you'll notice here is that the app formatted everything for me. I didn't have to say paragraphs, bullet points, periods, or anything like that. Everything is nicely formatted for me. You'll also notice that I've messed up my speaking there on bullet point number 3, and you won't see any of those mess ups in the actual output. So the AI-powered app is doing all of this work for me. So the app is called Wispr Flow, and I'll put a link in the description to their website. As it says here, it's 4 times faster than typing, and it's available on both Windows, Mac, and the iPhone right now. And I love this graphic they have down here because it really shows the difference between how fast it is to type on a keyboard versus how fast it is to type when you're speaking. And the fact that it reformats all of your text for you and does all that cleanup work makes it even better. So in this video, I'm going to explain how to use it and also share some tips that I've learned to help save you even more time. So we'll first take a look at the desktop app. I'm on Windows, but it's also available on Mac. Once you download it and install it, you'll see this app here. As you can see at the top, I've been using it for 7 weeks. I've transcribed almost 40,000 words, and I have 120 words per minute output. This is actually low. My output's actually quite a bit more than that, but I do pause a lot and think when I'm speaking into this, so I think that slows down the words per minute. And down below here, you can see that all you have to do is hold down Control and Windows and start speaking into any text box for it to work. It also has your recent activity down here and these transcripts that you can look through your recent activity and copy and paste those. If you need them, they're all there. So let's jump over to ChatGPT and I'll walk through another example of how to use it. It's really easy to use. All I need to do is press and hold that keyboard shortcut, Control Windows, when I'm talking. And then when I'm done talking, I just release the shortcut. And when I press the shortcut, you'll see a little black pill appear down here that lets me know it's recording. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'd like to get your help drafting an email to my boss to request vacation time from September 2nd to the 7th. It's right after month-end close and before the holiday rush, so I think it'd be a good time to take vacation. And so it takes just a second or two there, and then again, nicely formatted text. We don't have to say periods or anything like that. Just formats that. We'll go ahead and hit enter and let ChatGPT work on that. After recording this, I noticed that it got this phrase here wrong. However, I listened back to the audio and I did pronounce it like this, but it's a good reminder to speak clearly and pronounce all of your words. If I try again down here, it's right after month-end close and before the holiday rush. As you can see, it got it right this time because I had better pronunciation. Now, one annoyance here, one thing that can be annoying, but I've learned a way around this, is if you're talking, I'll go ahead and talk again. Actually, those dates were September 3rd through the 9th. Can you redraft the email? Now, as I was talking there, I accidentally clicked off the text box. So the focus was lost on the text box, and you don't see the transcript or the text appear here in the box. So this can be annoying if you're working or scrolling around a website or something like that as you're talking, and you forget or move your focus off the text box. However, you can go into the Wispr Flow app and you'll see your last transcript right here. And you can just click the copy transcript button and then go paste that back into whichever app you're in. And this works on any desktop app or website app, really anywhere you can type text, you can use Wispr Flow. And there is a keyboard shortcut for this as well, which is really nice. So if you go into settings here and go into set default keyboard shortcuts. First of all, you can change the Control Windows shortcut to enable push to talk if you want to use a different shortcut. I found that this shortcut works great. It's very easy, and I haven't found any conflicts with any other apps or anything like that. So I really like Control Windows. And if you scroll down here, there's also a shortcut to paste the last transcript. It's Alt-Shift-Z by default, but if that one's tough to remember and this is something you use often, you can of course change that right here. Now, at the beginning of the video, I said that Wispr Flow has tripled my productivity. And the way I factor that is just by testing it. This email here has about 70 words, and I typed it out and timed myself. I type at about 60 words per minute, give or take, and also depends on the time of the day and how much coffee I've had. With Wispr Flow, same thing. I can speak at about 150 to up to 200 words per minute, again, depending on how much coffee I've had. But that really saves me a ton of time, especially if it's late in the day and I'm just making a lot of typos with my good old fingers here. I can just talk and get things done a lot faster. And another place this time savings can stack up is on your phone. Wispr Flow just released an iPhone app. I don't use it a ton yet, but if I'm writing a long document or taking notes or writing an email, it can save me a lot of time because I'm very slow at typing on the phone. Now, if you're working in a cubicle, co-working space, or coffee shop, you might be thinking that you don't want everyone around you to hear what you're typing. Well, I think the reason they named it Wispr Flow is because you can actually just quietly whisper into your microphone and it will perfectly detect everything that you're saying. And there you go. Now, Wispr Flow is a paid app. This is the pricing at the time of this recording. They do have a free plan, but those 2,000 words a week, you'll use those up pretty quickly if you're using it as much as I am. I am on the pro plan, and I'm happy to pay for this because it has increased my productivity drastically, as I've shown in this video. Wispr Flow did not sponsor this video. However, I do have a referral link down in the description if you want to use that when you sign up.
I'm gonna stop here. 'Cause now he goes into Windows stuff, and not everybody has Windows. I tell y'all, I heard about this app. I went and did the free account, and it does have the limitations like he was saying, and it took me a while. Like, I didn't go through it really fast, but also I wasn't using it every moment of the day. I started using it more and more, and like he was showing, you can use it in everything. You have, like, I'm on a Mac, so I have it on my Mac and I have it on my iPhone, but I can be in any app. I know with ChatGPT, when he showed that example, I'm sure somebody's watching this going, yeah, but you can do voice to text with ChatGPT. Yes, you can. Their voice to text is not perfect, but it's not bad. What you can do with voice to text and ChatGPT, imagine having a tool where you can do it anywhere. It doesn't matter what I'm in. I can be in anything. I could use it right now to go put up a new banner. Let me do that because that'll be fun. Let me go make it. Well, actually, I don't know if I have it on right now because I don't want it to interfere with the live stream. Let me try. Ooh, that'd be a cool experiment. I mean, I do have Wispr Flows just in the background. Let me wait. That's not what I was trying to. Let's do an experiment. Y'all know I love to experiment. Because on my Wispr Flow, I just press one button on my computer. I hold it down, and when I speak, it's recording that, and then when I let go, it'll put it up on here. So let me try this. Sign up for Wispr Flow today. It did it. All right, let me show y'all. Let me add the banner. What I just said, I just went into StreamYard here and I went to add a banner and I just said it out loud. I pressed the button and it did it. And so it's just, to me, so cool that is, for me, is more about that productivity. I feel like I can do so much more now. I love when these types of tools that I hear about have a free trial so you can try it to see if you even like it. And I was so impressed how quickly I fell in love with that and how much it helps me. I use it all day, every day in everything I do. When anything I would normally be typing, and even on my phone, with that iPhone app, it's been phenomenal because it's hard to type fast on the phone, especially in iPhone. It's in the one. I'm like the one finger person. I'm like, and I'm pretty fast at it, but not great. And this is like, I just talk. And now I'm so used to it, I just feel so spoiled that whenever I have something, I just talk, say what I want to say, easy peasy. So I just felt like that video explained a lot of it a lot better than I was. Any thoughts from anybody?
Madeline, have you seen the movie Her with Joaquin Phoenix?
Yes, I remember that movie.
We are marching every day closer to the show.
I know.
Didn't he write love letters for his job, like very romantic letters to people? And he did it by dictation. So this Wispr sounds exactly like Joaquin's day job. He could just like dictate
a
letter to somebody. And
exactly. Yeah. It's I mean, I love technology, honestly, and I know some of it seems kind of scary and it's like, what's going on here? I I always just try to, try tools, try different AI things I hear about, figure out like what looks like is something that could help me. And at first I was like, I've done all the text to voice ones. It's like, I don't think there's going to be anything out there that's going to help me that would be worthwhile. I mean, I know even like in Google Docs, Google has it embedded in Google Docs, with the little microphone, you just talk. But I don't know. There was just something about it that just didn't work for me. And I couldn't feel productive doing it. And I'm not really sure. Like, I think maybe with this one is because it does kind of format and fix things if you mess up. I don't know. It just seems to work so much better for me.
And you have a special key keyed in to record, like you pick that with the app, you pick that with the thing.
I'm using the default one, like he was showing it for Windows. So I'm on a Mac, and on the Mac at the bottom is the FN. It's on the far bottom left with the little globe. Yep. So it's defaulted, but you can, like he showed, you can go in and change your keywords, your keyboard. But I just press that and hold. It does a little sound, so it let me know it's recording, and I talk, and then I let go of the button, and then that's when it, puts it in there. And I will do long, like I will sometimes have like a whole long thing I'll say if I'm working on something, and it's just listening. And then it's not like it takes a second, like when I was doing this one, it took a second for it to pop on there. And then he also talked about his frustration, which is not a big deal. You get used to it real quickly. So like I'm a multitasker, so I'll be like using Wispr Flow for something, but then I'll go look at something else. And when you go back to where you were and you want to use it again, if you don't put your cursor back in there because you went to other places, you go press down the button and it's not doing it where you're at because you forgot to like put your cursor back where you were. But then he showed the workaround of just going into the tool and it'll show you what you last said. So that was actually a cool little workaround. But I just think it's free. If any of that sounds appealing, what you saw, I would definitely recommend trying it because you might find that you can be more productive. And when I was using it for a few weeks, the more I used it, the more I was like, wow, this is so much easier than typing. So I like sharing cool tools that I find with everybody.
It'd be interesting to see the.
I have Otter.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Bez.
No, it's all right. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, I was just going to say, like, I'm in the education arena, and the high school kids probably would enjoy something like this for their essays. Though I would be curious to see if an essay where you had to sit down and write it would be far better than a conversational one where you're just like off the cuff saying. Though you could go back and edit it, obviously.
Yeah.
But maybe it will be more interesting if it's an essay written like a conversation.
I guess.
Right.
Yo, this Macbeth guy, he had a rough go.
I don't know.
Oh, that's funny.
I use a tool called Otter.ai, and I'm wondering if I could, because they also have an app on the phone. So I wonder if how it would compare to Wispr.
Otter is a transcription, so it'd be interesting for you to try that and see. I mean, what I know of Otter is it's a transcription tool. I mean, it would be voice to text, but this is, I don't think you get the same kind of experience or even close to the experience. But what makes Wispr Flow really stand out is the way it uses the AI to make sure when you're messing up, when you're hesitating, you got something wrong, it fixes it. If you're in an email, and like when he did that example in the beginning, it will format it for an email. Like it knows what kind of platform you're in and can adjust for that, which is really cool. But it's one of those tools where like when you play with it, you kind of like, oh, this is, that's how it was for me. I just kept trying it and going, oh, well, that was easy. Oh, this was so nice. Okay. Oh, I messed up and it fixed it. That was cool. Or, oh, it formatted it in the email and did bullet points. I'm like, wow, okay, I wasn't expecting that. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. So I don't know. If anybody wants to try it, I would check it out because it helps me tremendously. I only talk about tools that I find valuable. And this has been, if I have to name a couple of tools, MAGAI, which I talk about a lot, all-in-one AI tool, excellent tool, and this Wispr Flow, been like my 2 top favorite tools. Let's put everybody on the spot real quick as we wrap up our hour. What are your favorite tools, Jason? What are like your favorite tools? Because we can all learn from each other too. But you're muted. Yeah. Oh, you're muted.
Oops, sorry. For podcasts, my podcast, a game changer for me for how busy I've gotten is Descript. Like that has saved my life for editing podcasts. It gets rid of ums and ahs and pauses, which of course you have the same, like if you have an hour show, editing takes an hour because you got to listen through it, right?
Right.
Yeah, so Descript. And then for social media, we use it sporadically, but I use Google VO3. We have a subscription for that, and we make little fake podcast videos of the dog talking to the cat.
Cool.
They're very, very popular. From ranging, from 30 to 50,000 views to millions of views. People seem to really like it.
Wow.
Yeah. So and of course, it's a lot easier to put a prompt in than to get the dog and the cat to sit beside each other with headphones on and then animate their face.
Wow. And you're a school teacher who still is a school teacher, but you also have become this big content creator.
Yeah, we'll see. That's might be coming to a close in the next year or two. We'll see.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. This being the teacher. Yeah. The side gig. Yeah, the side gig is it all comes down to being able to afford to live.
Gotcha.
So the side gig is going to become the main gig.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
You should maybe
that's
talk about that.
Awesome. Yeah. Maybe, yeah. If y'all are still on strike next week, will you come back and talk about that?
We'll be on strike next week. It's not
great. Oh man, what's going on there? I didn't even.
This is not the show for it.
Okay.
I'll send you a message, Madeline.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know what was going on. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I appreciate your interest and concern. I appreciate it.
Yeah. But I'm sure everybody here would love to learn more about having like this traditional job and then doing this content creation stuff on the side, growing this amazing thing you've done with the dogs, which is so cool and likable. I love when every time I go into X on my Madeline Sklar X account, one of your tweets will pop up. You always, and it's like I just love it. It just brightens my day when I go in there and I see that one of the dogs big on the screen there. It's cool.
We're blessed and it's a joyful thing I get to do. It's just
that is so awesome.
Very surreal. Yeah.
That's so awesome. What are your favorite tools?
My favorite tool right now is Claude. I had a spreadsheet and I wanted to create something to connect to it. I had an idea. So I'm working with Claude and I'm making a web app. I'm not a coder, but I'm making a web app, and it actually asked me if I wanted to see a demo first. So I said, yeah, sure. Let's see the demo. And I'm like, oh, okay, so that's, there's a lot of tools, but right now I'm nerding out. But I want to say something to Jason. I have a small career coaching cohort, and the people there are like wondering, they're looking for their next job, but they're looking to design their exit strategy into like the 9 to 5, even though they're in my cohort for, to find a job. They're like, well, you know what? Next time they want to lay me off, I want to be ready and have my ex. And I'm like, that's how you need to think, because you can't be thinking like, oh, I'm going to hang out here till I retire now. No, it's like you die, they'll post your job the next day. It's not personal.
Yeah.
Anyways, I love your story. So I may be knocking on your door to hear it a little bit more.
Yeah. Will you come back on next week, Jason?
There's a good likelihood.
Awesome. Yeah. If you're available. We'll definitely like to hear.
See We'll see.
Well, just your journey. Like, I think people would love to hear more about your journey becoming this content creator and building such a large community. It's so interesting. So, Barb, do you have a tool or two you'd like to share with everybody?
I love ChatGPT, and as it's evolved, I love it more every day. So,
yeah.
And I love the fact that, because I was never a Microsoft Edge, the browser, the user, but when they put ChatGPT in it, and it can run right alongside when you're like in Facebook or in school or whatever and ask questions, it makes it so much easier. And then I can also pull it through ChatGPT. So that's the, keep it easy for me. I'm tempted by MAGAI because, it's like how much, it's like everything else you do is all of a sudden you look and you've got so much content and all you're doing is storing it, one drive after another.
Right.
So it's making use of it. That's a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't know if Rachel is still, Rachel, you still, oh, there you are. Okay. What was a favorite tool or two of yours?
I like chat for things, that would take a lot of administrative type tasks. I'm loving Substack, obviously. And I love the CoSchedule headline analyzer. It's free. They have a paid version, which is what I typically use because just this week alone, I SEO'd 20 posts for clients. So that's something that I use every day. So I use the pro version, but the free version is great. And it helps you with not only headlines for your blog posts, but your newsletters. Also, you can do social media stuff. And it's really helpful. And it's all about what Google indexes. So if you put in a title you think is fantastic and it gets a score of like 50, they'll give you options to get it to 70 or above, which is what Google's looking at. So I really like that tool. It's really, really great. And I recommend everyone use Grammarly. I mean, it's like the original AI.
I love Grammarly. I've been using it forever. I love how every week it sends me an email, like kind of showing my stats of how I've been using it.
Yeah.
It tells you like how many weeks you've been on there. I mean, I've been using it for like 5-6 years, I think. So it's a crazy number of weeks. And every week I get that, I'm like, man, I've been using this a long time. And so a lot of us were using AI before we even realized it wasn't called AI back then, really.
Exactly. I just want to add one more quick point. I do use social media schedulers like Hootsuite, Buffer. Vista is my favorite one now because I got a deal through AppSumo for a lifetime. But what's interesting is they no longer have Twitter available on Vista. No matter what your account is, because it became too expensive. I guess X is now charging these companies to allow us to import and use the API, and it's become way too expensive. So I'm wondering if we're going to see that in other social medias who are just going to take X out of the equation.
Interesting. Huh. Thank you for sharing all that with us.
Yeah.
Wow. We have a lot of food for thought as we wrap up. So last thing I want to mention, I meant to mention this earlier and I totally forgot to, as we wrap up here. I came up with this new, well, you know what? Let me show you something else first, because it was so funny. I did a tweet earlier. I did a tweet earlier where I said, and by the way, if anybody wants that link to Wispr Flow, I stuck it on my X here right under the live stream. Is right there. If y'all can see that, right? Yeah. So, yeah, I did this tweet earlier. Oh, I spoke at a thing yet. I should have shown this too. So yesterday I went and spoke at an event with my friend Cami Hoysa. She does the social media breakfast here in Houston, but we had this event yesterday. She had me come speak with her, talking about how we've been working on a book project for the last
Yay.
now, very slowly, like not this big thing, but like we did a podcast for years called Communities That Convert, because we're both are like experts at building online communities. And so we had this great podcast we did for a long time, and then we ended up stopping during COVID because life just got so crazy for everybody. And we have all this amazing content. We have several hundred episodes. And so yesterday we spoke at this event talking about how we've been using AI to help us start a book project and using it to get like all of that content, you know, when you have tons and tons of this transcripts of all this great content that's evergreen, that doesn't ever, you know, go stale. It's like, how, you know, how do we do this? And we end up utilizing AI. So it was fun getting together yesterday and doing a talk on that. But my other tweet was that I said, I always come up with the best business ideas while I'm in the shower. What about you? Which is so true. I always think up of things while I'm in the shower. But my thing I thought up of today that I want to do for the end of the year as a little offer for anybody that is interested is that, you know, we're sitting here talking about tools and subscriptions and stuff. I always find it interesting how so many of us have so many different tools and so many subscriptions of things we use in our business, and it adds up to a lot of money, you know. So, and I guarantee you, we all have things that we're not even using. That's, you know, we're paying money for. So I'm offering like a special audit where you can send me a list of all the different tools, subscriptions, and things you have, even the free ones that you're utilizing. So I can go through it, audit it for you, and let you know if there are ways for you to save money. Many times what I've noticed is that people are utilizing tools that there are other tools that kind of take everything they're doing and is consolidated, or here's one that's just like what you're doing but better and cheaper. Like I'm just so up on so many different kinds of tools. It's kind of like my thing. And so I thought that since we're at coming up to the year end, if people were wanting some help with that, I would love to do an audit. So just shoot me a DM and let me know. Anything else as we head out before we come back here again next Thursday to do this all over again and talk about all the things we find? Did
we cover the taking down the hashtags, how that's going to work on YouTube and on Facebook, and you know that they're really discounting that now, and on X as well?
Yeah,
have we actually covered it?
It was on the list for today, but we just didn't have time to get to it.
Okay.
And, you know, Rachel has info to share with us on that she's
wonderful.
And it would be fun to get everybody's thoughts. You know, we know Elon at X is like, don't use hashtag. He doesn't like them. The algorithm changed a few years ago so that if you use more than one hashtag in your tweets, it's not going to get seen. They one hashtag max you're allowed to do on X. The
but Meta did announcements this week on that again too, and I noticed they changed things in the group feature, and bringing the topics back. So good. I hope that Rachel talks about that next week.
Well, it makes for a great discussion. So we'll definitely talk about it next week. It's on the list.
Okay.
I'm working on a Substack post about it too, so I'll have places to send.
Of course you are. I have no doubt. You are using. If anybody wants to be using Substack, follow Rachel because she does it so well. We've learned so much about Substack through you, Rachel. So thank you. Let me pull you up on the screen real quick so I can show everybody, because if y'all are not following her, you need to. Absolutely. We're all here to spread the love, and you do such a great job with it. Let me bring up that's Rachel's Substack. Go to Substack. It's at Bad Redhead Media.
Thank you. That's so cool how you can do that so quickly.
Because I'm good at this. StreamYard makes it easy, but I've been doing stuff like this for years, and I just know, like, I have stuff already set up, because every time we do this, I'm like, I'm just going to leave that there. Because sometimes, you know, you and Jim start talking about Substack, and it's like, yes, I have one too. I haven't really used it much, but I plan to, because through Rachel, I'm learning about and through Jim. Jim's not here with us today, but the two of y'all, especially you, Rachel, I've learned so much about the power of Substack, and is such a great tool for community building.
It really is.
It's great for a lot of things, but I definitely recommend it. I just haven't been able to make the time yet, but it's on my list.
And Jason's there too. Jason's doing really well.
That's great, Jason.
Substack is amazing. Direct, like for us, that's where we get our emails, and that's where we launched our new Bernoulli stuffy. So we
that's
can
so
market
cool.
that there.
That is so. Let me pull yours up real quick to show everybody.
What's your
I didn't
Substack?
realize.
Is it
It's the pup date.
Yeah, Bunsen. Yeah.
Or maybe I need to rename. I don't know. Yeah, I do.
Bunsen burner BMD.
Yeah, Bunsen burner. I probably should change it to something more recognizable. I do less than Rachel for sure. Like a weekly post, and then we do an ad once every week or two. But it's super powerful to get products in front of people. Way better than social media.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this up on the screen real quick. So people, if anybody wants to follow you, make it super easy. So substack.com/ you gotta do the @ Bunsen burner BMD.
That's so interesting. Why am I showing up above the subscribe button? Is that because you came from my
Interesting. I don't know. It is showing you right here, Rachel.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think we subscribe to you, Rachel. So maybe that's something that we're in common.
Could be because I subscribe to you as well. Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we're mutual things.
That's so interesting. Interesting. That's great you're utilizing this, Jason.
I love it. It's very cool.
I love all the Ginger updates. Ginger rules, man.
Oh,
your cat.
She moved away with Adam, so we're missing her. We're actively looking for a new kitty. So
I'm kind of surprised Pip didn't come up on my desk, but he's sound asleep in my chair. So
I love when he comes and visits us when we're doing the live stream. Well, I need to get running. It's so good hanging out with everybody today. It's always so much fun to just learn so much from each other. And we'll come back next Thursday and do it again. Jason, thank you for popping in and being our guest on here today.
Yay.
We loved having you.
I have lots of free time now.
Okay. Well, anytime you want to come hang out with us on our Thursday chat, you are always welcome. And Rachel, thank you for sending him the link. I'm like, it says Jason's here. I'm like, I didn't send him the link because I saw your comment. And I'm like, okay.
It's magic. I just want to say something quickly to Jason and then I'll be done. The other day with the video where you went out in the snow and you were like, all right, I got on Crocs and shorts. I'm pretending it's not snowing and we won't see Chris until spring. And I was dying. That was so funny.
You lose in Alberta, Canada if it snows before Halloween, and it snowed last week. We lost.
Oh, wow.
It's gone
It's
now.
gonna be cold.
Yeah, it's cold in the mornings and at night. Yep.
But you get the northern lights, so come on.
Yeah.
That's true. And I've had them days ago.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the other day you posted that. It's like, man,
gorgeous.
I can't even imagine seeing that in real life. Wow.
I know.
But thank you for posting those.
Every time it's as magical as the first time you see them.
It seems like it would be. It seems like it's one of those ones that take your breath away every time.
Gorgeous.
Yep.
That's so cool. We'll keep posting those because I sure love seeing that. All right, everybody. We'll see you back here next Thursday. Come hang out with us on School because that's where we continue the discussions throughout the week. So we'll see y'all soon.
All right. Bye.